ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Angry Meat Production. We appreciate you coming in and letting us be a part of your lives week in and week out. We hope to do our best to present you with something that your eardrums delight in. Whether you're looking at us on YouTube or Rumble, or listening to us on Spotify, Google, or Anchor, or any of the other podcast services that we are currently on or trying to get on, we thank you. And if you don't mind, at the end of every episode, stop by, leave us a comment, leave us a like. If it asks for 5 stars, we'll take 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars are what it's all about. With that being said, we hope you enjoy our attempt to make our advocation our vocation. Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin.
Welcome, Angry Faithful. Today, we're going to talk about Pedro Lopez. He's a Colombian serial killer and child rapist who murdered a minimum of 110 girls from 1967 to 1980 and claimed that he had murdered 300 more victims across Colombia, Peru, and Ecuador. Released from Colombia's minimum facility in 1998, his whereabouts is currently unknown. Aside
Lopez?
from...
Hold on, you said Lopez?
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing Pedro Rodriguez Hijo.
I fucking gave you the wrong one. You haven't picked that up.
Johnny, we had a
Maybe
full
it would
conversation
help if you
about
sent
this.
me the right one there,
I
Cheesemo.
did.
He did.
No.
He sent me the right one.
I did it in a group. Because I already covered the other guy. Me and Chris were just saying how unprofessional this actually is. And yes, I'm going to keep this in the recording because I am very unprofessional.
No. The words that I used were what?
Amateur hour.
Fucking embarrassing is the words that
Okay.
came out of my mouth.
All right. Embarrassing.
Wait, I got to do this properly. Hold on.
Oh my God. He's going into his...
He's doing it. He's doing it.
Fucking embarrassing.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
sad.
that's why I love you, brother.
God.
Uh,
All right. We're just going to skip
My
that.
desk back a good 6 inches.
This right here is a brand new record. This is the earliest in the episode that we've gone off the tracks. I'm calling it right now.
This is true. I usually...
And this wasn't my fault this time.
No, it was not.
Yeah.
I mean, but to be fair,
it's my fault.
Fair,
To be fair.
It's my fault. I know it's my fault.
Hold on.
Now
Yes,
he has to
I'm
explain to his
fine.
wife how he fucked
The
up.
reason why you heard me yell, it's fucking embarrassing, is because David is running this show like a very rank amateur.
He's running
He's like
straight
a
into the ground
junior high child who saw his first pair of titties.
in the
He's
National
bumbling,
Geographic.
rumbling, stumbling, fumbling. It's like Chris Berman had a stroke in here. I love you.
There is literally none of that I can argue against.
Absolutely.
I was like, listen, mate, no. No. Now he got everything 100% correct.
He's out of line, but he's not wrong.
See, this right here is gonna set us. This is how we go straight to the top. Is rank amateurness. It's a train wreck effect, man. You just can't look away from it.
Yeah, exactly.
They're gonna tune in each week just to see how bad things can go for.
Chris Berman's publicist is going to let him know, and then he's going to tell his publicist, you tweet those guys and you tell them, thanks for the shout out.
Cha-ching.
It's almost as bad. It's almost as bad. It's almost as bad. Because I was telling him before you got on, is whenever I have Tansy has, he has an audience. He has a big audience. And he's been running the podcast for a while. it takes us almost about 30 to 45 minutes to get everything. I have everything on my end squared away. He's working on his end. I'm like, okay. I'll just wait. Do it again. Okay. and at that point, I'm looking at everything and I'm like, I think this is, I'm not doing a good job. And then I have somebody that does a good job. And I'm like wondering how are we lower than him? But he's a great guy. Love him to death. Love you, Tansy. Failure Stop Podcast. Check him out. But anyways, going back, we're going for the early life.
First of all, is Johnny on the same page as we are now? I want to make sure.
Pedro Alonso Lopez, born on the 8th of October in the year of our Lord, 1948. He's a Colombian serial killer and child rapist who murdered a minimum of 110 young girls from 1969 to 1980 and claimed to have murdered over 300 victims across Colombia, Peru, and Ecuador. Yes. Can confirm.
I already read that, but
that was a very nice recap. Thank you.
There we go. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I wanted to make sure that David knew unequivocally beyond the shadow of a military doubt in his mind that I was on the same page.
I was okay.
And plus, I wanted to deliver the opening of that riveting opening that you had with a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for, panache.
Latino X. Is that what they're going with? Latino X? It's what the Democrats are saying now. So it must be true.
Johnny puts the X in Latinx.
Lopez was born to Benita Lopez da Cinta. According to Lopez, witness accounts of prostitution by his mother while growing up had just disturbing effect on his psychological health. Subsequently, his mother caught him fondling his younger sister in 1957 when he was 8 years old and evicted him from the family home. Pedro, who was reported the 17th child of 13 siblings. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Hang on. No. Wait. Stop there for a second. Redo that math. Think about that math there for a second.
Pedro was reportedly the 17th child of 13.
Out of 13? He was the 17th out of 13?
Oh, seventh. Okay, seventh child amongst 13 siblings. Thank you, Chris, for keeping me on track.
I tried.
Yeah.
I fail often, but I tried.
This week's installment of David's Dyslexia is brought to you courtesy of his parents. You're welcome. Shop smart. Shop S-Smart.
S-Smart.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be.
I'm telling you, we're gonna wear that button out.
It's gonna be like a knob. I'm gonna have to make a new fucking button for it. And evicted him from the home. He was a polite as a boy and wanted to be a teacher, according to his mother. Following this, the 8-year-old Pedro Lopez had filed to Bogota, Colombia, capital city. Soon afterwards, he said he had been abducted by a man and raped. At age 12, Pedro was taken in by a U.S. immigrant family and enrolled to a school for orphans. He ran away after 2 years, according to one of the accounts. Because he been molested by a male teacher, other sources claim that he ran away with a teacher. Now, going on the murders, Lopez claimed that during his incarceration for car theft, he was brutally gang raped. Jesus. And that subsequently, while he was still in prison, he hunted down most of the brutal of his rapists and killed them. He said that after being released from prison, he moved to Peru and started murdering young girls. Lopez claimed that by 1978, he killed over 100 girls before being caught and captured by the members of the indigenous tribe. These captors were preparing to execute him when a missionary from the United States intervened and persuaded them to hand him over to the state police. However, the police quickly released him. Gotta love Colombia. Lopez said that he was subsequently returned to Colombia and later moved to Ecuador. During this period, he claimed he had killed about 3 girls a week. Lopez said, "I like the girls in Ecuador. They are more gentle and trusting, more innocent." Ugh, what a fucking shit pump. All right, Johnny. Well, actually, this is going to be pretty. I can read this whole fucking thing really quick. Lopez was
You got
arrested.
the arrest?
Yeah, you can do the arrest and release.
Lopez was arrested when an attempted abduction failed and he was trapped by market traders. The Associated Press reported that he was arrested in March of 1980 and confessed to killing 200 young girls and possibly up to 350 in total. Now, at his release, according to CNN, Lopez was arrested in 1980 but was freed by the government in Ecuador at the end of 1998. In an interview from his prison cell, Lopez described himself as the man of the century and said he was being released for, quote, good behavior. An A&E biography documentary reported that he was released from an Ecuadorian prison on 31 August 1994, then rearrested as an illegal immigrant and handed over to the Colombian authorities, who charged him with a 20-year-old murder. He was declared insane and held in the psychiatric wing of a Bogota hospital. Now, in 1998, he was declared sane and released on $50 bail.
$50 bail?
Right, certain subject conditions. He later absconded. The same documentary says that Interpol released an advisory for his rearrest by Colombian authorities over a fresh murder in 2002, and he was currently wanted by the police. His whereabouts are currently unknown as of 2002. Now, the 2006 edition of the Guinness Book of World Records credited Lopez as being the most prolific serial killer. The listing was removed after complaints that it made a competition out of murder.
Which it did.
Yeah, it did.
It does kind of seem to be in poor taste.
Yeah.
This is
but it's on this case right here. One, I hate to say this, but the exchange rate in the South America area for being like let out for bail, $50 murder. Jeez. I mean, there's that one chick in town that asked to have her bail lower from 100,000 to 50,000.
Yeah, and good old Judge McKnight told her to go ahead and just sit your ass down.
Yeah.
You know, I thought it was kind of funny because when I saw that article and I sent it to you, I'm reading that and I'm like, that's the same judge that presided over my divorce.
Yeah.
So just for context here, guys,
Mm-hmm.
50 US dollars is 246,531 and a half Colombian pesos.
Jesus.
As of January 5th.
So what you're saying is if you, it just reminds me of that Euro trip, that part in Euro trip when they handed somebody a nickel and he just slaps his boss. He's like, I retire now, and just walks off. That's what it reminds me.
It does feel like that.
But another part of the story,
regardless, what I really want to touch on, and I feel like this was kind of glossed over in the actual listing, was he was declared insane, criminally insane, and was released after 4 years.
No, he was declared sane
after 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was declared sane after 4 years.
After killing 100 freaking girls.
Well, okay. Here, and I'm about to get into this. I did a little bit more research on the stuff. Stuff in South America is totally different in the United States. To the point to where, because they do like crime alerts can tell whatever, if they murder a whole bunch of people, they're only charged for one murder. They can only be charged for one murder. And they had evidence of the 100, but they can only charge him for one murder. That's the reason why he got what he got. So they just collect all the data for the murder victims and everything. It's like, okay, now that indigenous tribe had the right fucking idea and just let's execute them. It's like, and then big US with its heart was like, we should give it to the judges and do justice.
Like screw
You.
that missionary, man. That screw you. I don't know who you were. I don't care what denomination. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
Screw you.
Yeah, fuck that
Because
shit.
if anybody deserved to be put down like a freaking rabid dog, it was this.
Yeah. It is just freaking sad that they had a chance to like snuff this out right from the get-go, and like what happened.
I mean, he had already done enough damage up to that point, and then it was just like he's learned his lesson. He's fine.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. But
Fucking embarrassing is what it is.
yeah. I guess we can go over another one. I didn't think this was gonna be so short.
That was boy, if you had a nickel for it, never mind.
I had a nickel for every time I thought about Barb.
What? Barmy.
Barb.
Ah,
David.
I don't get it.
Is he not?
Just when I think that there's a sliver of hope, a light at the end of the tunnel, upon which Chris and I could gaze upon you with a sense of pride, knowing that you have obtained a degree of
A modicum of
relevance,
basic
manliness.
knowledge.
Here you go, and you ratchet that bar just a little bit higher and demonstrate your absolute ineptitude for all things pop culture.
Well, the reason why I didn't bring up this, I'll send this in the group chat. I'll send this in the group chat. Yeah, I'm not paying attention, fuckers.
You never do. Why would you start now?
Fuck yeah.
We talk shit, and
I mean,
you
at least I
ignore
had
it.
a legitimate excuse for not being in fucking uniform tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't issued the beanie.
I don't feel like that's an correct excuse because we've had the merch club available for how long now, and that's a failure on your part, quite frankly.
6 months.
Given the fact
It's
that historically that I have had hell, high water, and just an S1 clerk's nightmare of problems with the coffee club.
I mean, he does have a valid
point. I had to remedy myself today by creating a completely new profile.
I just want to point out here that I'm not connected to that in any way. I just want to throw that out there.
I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. I'm not saying that anybody's particularly at fault.
No, you just gazed at me really hard when you said
that. I wasn't gazing at you specifically.
What it is.
I was gazing through you.
No, I think he was gazing right at the emblem that's on your beanie, and you felt the hate through your head.
I could feel a burning sensation. Yes.
I mean, I felt it too. The heat coming off it was.
They make shots for that, Chris, but I digress.
But anyways, have you been keeping up with the Idaho murders?
I'm
not. Well, the only reason why I've been keeping up with it because it comes on Failure Stop podcast. The Trajasis Andrea Up All Night just keeps on banging us away and talking about it. But now they're saying that the Idaho murder suspects, Brian Kohlberger, studied under experts on serial killers, BTK killer, daughter sick at news. What? I think they're just reaching. Fuck it. Let's go to this way. Yeah, totally unprofessional. We have no idea what we're fucking doing here, folks. No big deal.
Yeah.
I never said we're like
Oh,
greatest.
I did hear about this one.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I love how people that, and the only reason why I can say this, and I'll try to keep it to where it doesn't go back to the people that hear about it, but the people that actually try to help out with podcasts and everything, and they think, oh yeah, we're doing this. This is our stuff is so great, and then they like blackball you on their stuff when you try to help them out and go on their show. Fucking, I think it's fucking hilarious. Besides, I don't have an extra 3. Oh, okay. But yeah, the Ohio murders. I guess I have a suspect. What the man? They're just going on all this clickbait stuff, and I hate it. I see this one article. Idaho killing suspects got new license plate days after murders. I'll go to the timeline of events. More than 6 weeks after 4 University Idaho students were mysteriously stabbed to death in a house near Moscow, Idaho campus, a suspect was identified and taken into custody. The 4 slain students were Ethan Chaplin, 20, Madison Morgan, 21, Zana Cordell, 20, and Kaylee Gonclave, 21. On the night of Saturday, November 12th, Gonclave and Morgan, lifelong best friends, went out to a corner club bar in downtown Moscow from 10 p.m. to 1:30 a.m., according to Moscow police. About 1:40 a.m., 40 a.m. The duo seen on video at Grub Truck, a local food vendor, and used the private party for a ride home. Getting back at 1:45 a.m. Police said a man seen in surveillance video at the Grub Truck and the person who drove them home are not considered suspects, according to authorities. Meanwhile, Chaplin Crindle, who were dating, went to Sigma Psi house Saturday night, police say. They also got home at about 1:45 a.m. Police said Chaplin did not live at the house, but was sleeping over with his girlfriend, 2 other roommates who survived the attack and are now considered suspects. Also went to Moscow Saturday night and returned home at 1 a.m., police say. It's believed that 4 students were killed in the house between 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. November 13th. Moscow Mayor Art Bergen told ABC News the dog was also at home, according to law enforcement. Moscow Police Chief James Fry called it an isolated, targeted attack. The 2 surviving roommates were in the basement sleeping through the murders. God, could you imagine sleeping through fucking murders? I mean, it is a stabbing and everything. And from what the great Christopher Lee says, I mean, you don't yell when you get stabbed. He was like,
when you stab in the back.
When you stab in the back. I mean, even if you stab in the front, it's still going to be.
Depends on where, but they also like slashing the throat is a lot louder than what people think. Because
Really?
you have it here. Oh yeah, especially if you go deep enough to sever the windpipe, because all your wind blows out. It's much louder.
I know this is like stupid dark.
And I've read this. Like, I want to preface this. I've never done that,
You never
From
murked
what I've
somebody.
read, I have never murdered somebody that you are aware of. I read it. There was a
Great
book.
disclaimer.
Now this is totally dark. Could you imagine sliding someone's throat and the reality of it, and nobody like did it in Hollywood and everything? It sounds like someone's farting.
Christopher Plummer, he was because he played Sauron in the Lord of the Rings. He also fought in World War. I think it was
Christopher
World War
Lee.
II.
Christopher Lee. And he played
Yeah,
Sauron,
yeah.
not Sauron.
Christopher Lee. I'm thinking Christopher Plummer for some reason. Anyway, Christopher Lee.
I was like, what? I
Peter
just did
Jackson
that.
told him to just imagine or visualize or picture the sound of somebody's throat being slashed, and he goes, I don't have to, I already know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He knew
That was
J.R.R.
badass.
Tolkien, like personally knew him.
Yeah, he was the only one of the cast that had actually met him.
Yeah.
And then he's in a metal band.
Yes, dude.
Yeah, I
Didn't they
see
do
that.
something like it was some crazy number, like 7 or 9 albums that band actually put out. It was an insane number for
Yeah,
Yeah.
Charlemagne.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Dude, it's pretty badass, dude. You heard it?
I
You
was the one that
heard
sent
his
it
stuff?
to you.
Fucking badass. I love it.
It is badass. I was the one that sent it to you.
Dude, you send me so much shit. I don't know where it comes from. It just like pops into my head and being. I don't know where it all comes from. I don't keep a fucking bibliography of
Chris,
where
I
all
tell you
the shit
what.
comes
All
from.
right, so you know that Liquid Death sparkling mineral water?
Yeah.
Did you know that they put out 2 death metal albums?
No way. Are you
Yeah,
serious?
they're on Spotify. What they did, because back when they were first getting started on Facebook, they had that ad campaign, like, sign your soul away
Yeah.
or trade your soul for a free case of water, right? And
Yeah.
like
I
they were
remember
getting
that. I remember
so much hate that they just said, you know what, screw this. They took all of the hate comments and they made metal songs out of them.
that. Yes.
Look
I
up
did not know that. They're
Liquid Death on Spotify, dude. It is
Dude, I gotta
fucking great.
I'm gonna look that up right now. I'm gonna look that up.
Back to the
Dude.
show.
Speaking of, the Guardians of the Galaxy game that came out last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The soundtrack that they did for that is freaking epic. It is so good, and it was done by just a guy in Poland that he's a musician, but he's not like super well known. But it's on Spotify too. Look up Star-Lord.
Okay.
Star-Lord the band or something like that on Spotify, and just listen to that soundtrack. It's just a throwaway soundtrack made for a game. It's fucking fantastic. It's so good.
I have to check that out.
Yes.
The 2 roommates called friends over their house because they thought one of the victims on this second floor had passed out and wasn't waking up, police said. At 11:58 a.m., a 911 caller from one of the roommates' phone requested help for an unconscious person. Police said the 911 caller, identified, has not been released, but police said multiple people talked with the 911 dispatchers. Responding officers found the 4 victims on the second and third floor. Police say authorities said that did not believe anyone at the house at the time of the 911 call was involved in the murders. Police also said they don't believe the man Gonclave and Megan Morgan tried to contact numerous times on November the 13th is involved. The autopsy conducted on November 17th determined all victims were still stabbed multiple times. I'll always like, I understand they have to go through like the motions and everything, but it took like 4 days. I mean, they have to, judge everything and put in like, the newsworthy stuff and everything. It's like, I think this person was stabbed like multiple times. No shit. But
Today, obviously.
really, Captain Obvious, you're You're such intelligent and wise. Tell us something more. Well, I think it was blood loss too. Hold the fucking
No
phone.
way.
No way. No way. No one tried to like patch up the holes after they stabbed him or anything. And okay, was it the stabbing
ran out
or
of-
blood loss that killed him?
They ran
We're
out
still
of
trying to figure that one out.
They ran out of band-aids. That's
Yeah.
Johnny used them all.
4 students were probably asleep when they attacked, and some had defensive wounds. No shit. There's no sign of sexual assault. Police added. The family of the 20-year-old victim, Ethan Chaplin, held a memorial social service at November 21st. Chaplin, a triplet, was born right before his sister and brother. Could you imagine? That's one thing. Just imagine that you're an identical twin and you're looking at yourself dead on that table.
That would
freak me the fuck out.
Oh god, yeah. That would fuck with my head really bad.
Yeah. 20-year-old lived his best life, lost consciously. He was very loved. I like how I skipped through that bullshit.
Yada yada.
Yada yada yada.
Yada. The best part.
Dan Cummings has this joke. He hasn't like printed it out. It was on one. It was on that unsubscribed podcast that I sent you. Can you imagine like, a bus full of people go out and they die, and all the people were loved, and nobody goes up to memorial service or anything. It's like, this motherfucker was an asshole. I don't know why he has so many people here.
So I say I would want make my eulogy he's all right. He was cool. He's kind of a dick.
At my funeral, I want somebody, preferably a friend that has like a British accent or something, to wear the same outfit.
Scottish.
Okay, that'll work too. But they need to wear the same outfit that I had on the day I died. During the funeral service, they need to rush in and pull a sonic screwdriver out of their pocket and be like, okay, this is where it's going to get weird.
I want the full David Tennant,
total Doctor Who
wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. If those words aren't uttered, then you may as well not even do it.
I want somebody to take an axe and chop off my head during the memorial service and say, finally, there can be only one.
I want no. See, then you put the head on a stick, and then you pass the stick around. Whoever holds the stick, you say a few words. And you have to say it to the head. You have to actually hold it. Gaze lovingly into my eyes. Deliver your eulogy, couple of lines, whatever sentence, and you pass it off to the next person. It's like passing the collection plate, but.
I love Rodney Carrington's bit on it. He goes, people always say he's in a better place. Well, what if he's an asshole? Just buried that fucker in a sweater. It's going to be hot where he's going. He's like, I want to be cremated when I die. Except cut my balls and my dick off first and put that shit in the chili. Because those are words you never want to hear at the wake. There's a dick in the chili. He's like, people always say, oh, they look so good. Like, hell no. But like, that fucker stinks.
I don't want to get to the gulp and start gagging. Close it stinks.
And if you're just catching this at this point in time and you don't know where you're at,
neither do we.
You're in the right
Trust
place.
me, we are just as lost as you are. Trust me.
As police in Idaho searched for answers, the suspect, later identified as Brian Kohberger, was stopped by Indian Indiana police on December 15th for traffic violations. See, it's fucking traffic violations that get you every
It's
time.
always the dumbest
Well,
shit.
Timothy McVeigh got busted after Oklahoma City because he ran in a toll booth.
Yeah.
That's the only reason
Still,
he
that's a
got
traffic
caught.
violation.
Mm-hmm.
Koberger was a PhD student at Washington State University. I almost fucked that up.
Let's start looking at you a little differently right there.
Yeah, located at 10 miles away from the University of Idaho. After Kurtzberger semester at Washington State ended in December, he and his father drove cross country together to the family's Pennsylvania home. His attorney, Monroe County Chief of Public Defender. Damn, that's a long one. Monroe County Chief Public Defender. Jason LaBar told ABC News they drove the pre-planned road trip in the white Hyundai and Elantra. I hate fucking weird names for cars. The Hyundai. Let's call it something fucked up so they can remember it. Really?
Hey, refresh that Walmart page because I don't know if it's going to let you read your own review.
Oh, yeah.
They drove the pre-planned road trip in the white. I got that. That the authorities said they were looking for in connection to the murders, according to LaBar. Karberger and his father were stopped twice on December 15th while driving east to Indianapolis, both times with young Koberger in the driver's seat. I don't know why that's so fucking hard to say. They were first stopped by Hancock County Sheriff's Office for speeding, and then 9 minutes later by the Indiana State Police for following another vehicle too close, according to officers. After Kochsberger arrest, the Sheriff's Department and State Police said there was no information at the time on the suspects in Idaho crimes or specific information on the white Hyundai. The state police added the trooper, having learned the two had been stopped minutes before the deputies from the Hancock County Sheriff's Department, who he knew was working just down the interstate from him, used his discretion and released the two men with a verbal warning. Yeah, the reason why a lot of people are going after on this one is because the main town that it happened at, Moscow, Idaho, is the lawyer. They eventually had to have FBI come in just to help them out with the murders because that town's never seen a murder in like years. And that's the reason why a lot of people are trying to report on these murders and everything. Yes, it's horrible. And there's actual data that if they're young and halfway decent looking, like all of us, if we were murdered, there would be no news coverage at all.
There might be a party. There might be a couple of parties, but
yeah,
kind of a ding dong.
No. Speak for yourself, David. Chris and I, we would be missed.
I
wouldn't say you wouldn't be missed. I'm saying you wouldn't make national news.
I can think of at least 3 people that might shed a single tear. They wouldn't take off work, but they would shed at least a single tear. There would be a moment of during their lunch break, they would take a moment of silence.
I can think of a few people that, I can think of a few people that would take the day off. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure
I can think of a whole bunch of people that probably wouldn't even notice. He'd be like, God damn, I haven't heard from him in a while. What the hell's he been? Oh, he got brutally murdered.
And get it
right.
Yeah. Damn, how's he doing now? Is he all right? What has he done
Like-
lately? Tell that fucker to call me.
Okay, so if I'm gonna need you guys. We need to figure out like a cloud box, cloud file or something like that, where we keep our Facebook passwords in there. So that way, when one of us kicks the bucket, the other two can keep posting on our
Oh
Facebook.
God, yes.
And just some
But like,
fucked
no.
off
It,
shit too.
but it would have to be like a message from beyond the grave type of thing. Like you would still have to be writing about us, and it would be completely first person, and like
Right.
a running commentary of wherever you would want us to be.
Or you're like you're
Or
writing
it's
from your grave.
it's like you pick one person to haunt and you just start making a running
Or
commentary.
some political story, you link it to your timeline or whatever, right? And be like, I'm all the way up here looking down and I'm still shaking my head.
Dude, can you imagine? It's like, damn it, I voted Democrat again. Damn it, man. What the hell? Come on. Sick of this shit.
If another Democrat wins when the Democrats win another election, you can just have your Facebook profile update. I swear to God, it wasn't me. God can vouch for me. He's standing right here.
Yeah.
I don't know about
Could
you.
you
but
imagine that
That's
starts a
valid. I
trend?
would love that. That would be great.
Could you imagine that starts a trend? You don't know there. You don't know if that's real or not, or that person's. I was like, "Is that?" I thought he died like 2 years ago. He
It'd
did.
be like the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe he did die.
I think you're onto something there, boy.
It wasn't the large hadron collider. It was not that. It was a group of asshole friends that just made everybody think he was still alive.
Using him as a meat puppet.
Folks, you heard it here first, folks.
We figured it out.
Busted. I am not suicidal. Hillary Clinton, don't come after me.
I guess we can wrap that up.
Yes.
now.
Hillary Rodham. Do we just okay, Hillary Rodham Clinton. I'm not
new
suicidal.
Black Death.
Really terrible at tying knots.
I don't even think
even though the Ranger Handbook tells me that I should be. For the purposes of this commentary, I am terrible at tying knots. While I may be a complete nightmare in a firefight, I have to openly and honestly say my aim is not so bad that I hit the back of my head.
You haven't figured out how to do that whole wanted thing and make your bullets bend and go backwards.
Right, because I'm not James fucking McAvoy. And I'm not married to the hepatitis C queen, Angelina Jolie. Oh, yeah, I said it.
Does
Come
she
at me.
really have hepatitis?
I dare you. I don't know.
Come on now. If you heard that in the news, though, would you be surprised?
No.
Not really.
Okay, there you go. See,
I mean, she did date Billy Bob Thornton.
No, I mean,
she doesn't
now
have
if anybody has
You
fucking
leave Billy
hepatitis,
Bob
it's Billy
alone.
Bob. Come on, man. If anybody in fucking Hollywood has hepatitis,
You don't mess with Billy Bob.
That's what's
The
wrong
moral of
with
the
it.
story
Ain't
here
got no
is
gas in it.
ain't got no gas in it.
No. The moral of the story. You talk about Billy Bob.
He just lived.
He'll kill you.
Should not do that.
Well, this one went like totally off of the rails onto another rail. Thought it had traction, and then got off on the rails again.
But the point is that we eventually at some point got back on a set of rails.
Yes.
It
But
doesn't matter
It's
what
like bowling
rails
on the
we're
old Wii, like Wii Sports, you know. You
I
can
need
you
a-
can let the ball go and it doesn't hit the pins, but you can hit the crowd behind you.
Yeah.
Look, when you have the whole bowling alley, does it really matter what lane you end up in?
I mean,
you're not wrong. I mean, sincerely, that's pretty good.
Look, we're knocking pins down. Does it matter where they are? They're getting knocked down. You're
Yeah.
focusing on all the wrong things. Life is not about the journey. It's about the destination.
This is true. This is very true.
Pearls, just pearls of wisdom.
People called it the Kaiser blade. I called it the sling blade.
Hey.
All right, everybody.
too much what that fella was doing to my mother.
You know what's even
I hit him with
more hilarious is none of us are medicated. That's what's even more hilarious.
What now?
None of us are medicated. Like, we can't blame this on medication. Man. Not even you.
No.
That's what's great.
Yeah,
Maybe we should be medicated, but
in a different style. Yes, you're
That's
absolutely
all
right.
I can't argue with that at all.
Oh, boy, we try to profile serial killers and psychopaths, and we end up demonstrating to our listening and viewing audiences that we are exactly who we detest.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Except for the murky murk. We don't murky murk people. Right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. For legal reasons, yes.
Hi, Grogu. Hi.
That is a yes. Absolutely.
Correct. Well, we could go ahead and stop this. I guess we can stop that here. I'm David Dickerman.
I mean, there's no legitimate reason why I should have this,
I keep on trying to
You
stop
need a
this. Johnny keeps us going.
You
I
need
need
a
to keep this short. We need to
Look at that.
stuff I gotta do.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna fix the BNG.
You know how old that round is?
Older than me.
Do you ever see that video where the guy's like
About
hammering with a
25
rubber
years old.
mallet all those 50 caliber rounds?
Oh,
He's-
those were 30 Mike rounds, by the way.
my mic rounds. Okay.
Yeah.
Slight difference.
Yeah, but this is a 30-year-old round.
You can still fire it. It's still good.
You can hear it?
No.
That's the powder in the casing.
Nice.
Are we ready to
I
stop?
told my wife
this?
tonight that
No, I guess not.
I'm going to buy a Barrett because you know that the ATF removed the tax stamp requirements for that, right?
They removed the tax stamp for that a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you don't need a tax stamp to buy a Barrett anymore.
Of course, you don't have to worry about a tax stamp or anything to buy a cannon. You can own a cannon. Hell, you
That's
can
true.
make a cannon.
Dude, I want a mortar so bad.
Oh, have you ever been?
Baseline Barrett without the optics on it start at $8,000, but hey, who am I to complain?
But you can't afford $25 for a merch club.
I said at some point, when I grow up.
Oh, yeah, I that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, if my Black Rifle stock performed any better, I might be able to afford some of their stuff.
Wow, you just had to get the forearm in there, right?
But unlike most of the bro vets out there, I haven't sold my stocks.
Listen, it's a long term. This is a long term investment.
Yeah.
As you so eloquently put a few minutes ago, it's not about the journey, it's the destination, right?
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right, David tried to outro himself, so he's David Dickerman. I'm Johnny Skelton,
and I am Chris Jack.
Thank
You've
you
been
all for
listening
watching.
to Psychos and Sociopaths. Thank you for coming along with this slippery Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Have fun, everybody, and as always, go fuck yourself, San Diego.